Yes, if you saw my last video, you know for a fact, holy crap, she's still doing videos in her workplace. Yes, I am. What's a girl to do? And now that I look back I'm wearing a similar gray shirt to the one I wore yesterday too. Oh, sweet Mary, Mother of God, what's the world coming to, right? Hello guys, welcome, or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I'm the Philadelphia Whovian, and for this video we're going to be discussing some news. This is the news about a news feed I saw saying Rose Tyler, played by actress Billie Piper, may return to Doctor Who. Now, guys, I'm making it very, very clear. Stay put. I'm making it very clear. This is a video in reaction to that news feed I saw. I don't know if there's any other videos that have come out confirming she will return to Doctor Who, or that was just a false report. I don't know any of that. All I know is Rose Tyler saw a video where it discussed that she might be returning to Doctor Who. And for those of you guys who are huge Rose Tyler fans, forgive me for going over a brief synopsis of Rose Tyler, just in case any viewers here don't know much about her. I have to do that freaking obligatory explanation. Rose Tyler is played by actress Billie Piper, and she was the companion to the 9th and 10th Doctor at the beginning of Doctor Who revival in 2005. She played alongside 9th Doctor, played by Chris Eccleston, and 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant, and she returned again for Series 4 of New Who, where again David Tennant is still the Doctor, and his companion is Catherine Tate, playing the character of Donna Noble. I think I covered that all. Now, when it comes to fan reaction to Rose Tyler, she was a companion that was immediately met with a lot of love. I mean, literally. I believe she was known as like the most popular actress in Great Britain when the show had begun, and not when the show began, as the show began and as the show progressed. She, I think, won for most popular actress, etc. and so forth, and she is a universally loved companion to this very day, with many people claiming she is the best companion ever of the entirety of Doctor Who. Yeah, many times I have seen her hit the list as the #1. So when it comes to my reaction to this news of Rose Tyler possibly returning to the character of possibly returning to Doctor Who. Now, taking into consideration everybody's love for this character, I respect your love for this character. I totally understand your love for this character. So please hear me out before you make a complete judgment upon this next confession of my reaction to this news. I think Rose Tyler's possible return to Doctor Who would be the worst thing that could ever happen to the show at this point, or ever again. Again, before you get your pitchforks out and just try and stick me with them, you gotta hear me out first before you say, oh, okay, I'm gonna just not listen to you and immediately give you a thumbs down to this video. Okay, first of all, when it comes to Rose Tyler as the companion, how did her time with the Doctor end? With her being put into a parallel universe. For me, it just strains credibility for her to come back. It just is too much. I mean, they did it once already without any really good explanation, now they're doing it again. That just strains credibility so much. She's in a parallel world with her human version of the 10th Doctor. Sorry, that was a spontaneous reaction there, I admit that. But yeah, she's over in the parallel universe with her 10th Doctor. Her story is done. It's patched away. Why bring her back and just go and just do that overkill? Yeah, it's a simple explanation. It's my first reason. It's a very simple explanation. She's in a parallel universe. Let her stay there. Strange credibility to bring her back again. #2, and this is where it gets really controversial, but it's just what I've observed when it comes to Doctor Who, and it's something I didn't like. Everything, that's what I call it, everything was made in much ado about Rose. Yep, my first problem of why I don't want her to come back. Much Ado About Rose Tyler. When she first stepped aboard the TARDIS in 2005 with the Ninth Doctor, okay, there saw a series of other companions on that show. Mickey, Captain Jack, and Adam. Each one the Doctor not regard as equal to Rose and made them feel insufficient if they made one mistake or bumped them off when they did not meet his ideal of perfection. What I've got from the very beginning is a companion and a Doctor relationship where there is blatant favoritism and intolerance to other companions for not living up to Rose Tyler. And this would continue for a little too long, way too long of a time. What I'm saying by that is, we get down to series 3, where the Doctor now has a new companion played by Freema Agyeman, named Martha Jones. And the very first episode, after Martha saves the Doctor's life and by doing so, saves half of the planet. And she did this by sacrificing her own life to save him. None of this matters because Doctor shows up at her brother's party like a creepy stalker, whisks her away, offers to whisk her away, and then right after doing this says, by the way, when she just asked, like, does he have a crew? He says, I traveled with a woman before, Rose Tyler. Not that you're replacing her. One trip you get back. The very beginning, he brings up Rose and makes it very clear he's going to hold her over Martha's head, and she was never going to be allowed to be any near the place that Rose was. And it continued like this for way too long. Then we get series 4, where I finally think the Doctor understands it's time to get past all this. And he does begin to understand it. He begins to gradually comprehend it is stupid to make someone feel inadequate for not living up to somebody else. At the end of the very first episode, we get Catherine Tate, played by Donna Noble, as a companion. What do I get at the end of that first episode? Rose is back. Literally, right at the end of that episode, Rose is back. Donna and Martha were both not given one full episode before Rose Tyler, be it in thought or in physicality or literally, is brought back. I found this to be very disrespectful to both of those characters and actresses. They were the very first time we get them in their full, first story, and both of them, Rose is lingering in the shadows in one, be it like mentally or literally, she's there. They weren't given one story before she's back shoved in front of our faces again. That's not how Doctor Who was for the longest time. When you got a new companion, with the Doctor meeting a new companion, they were given their chance. By the time they really were to, enter the storyline, and this is just ridiculous. And if it was happened maybe in the first episode only and it just stopped there, I'd be fine. But that's not what happens. Rose Tyler keeps either being brought up or keeps showing up throughout each season. Really? Again, Much Ado About Rose. And it got so much to the point where it was like, and I want to say it definitely was, the Doctor had practically not much of an identity, or he could not have a separate identity from Rose. It was a very codependent thing, where the Doctor did not have his own persona ever fully outside of her. He was made too much connected to her, where he never fully grew in my eyes. He was always regressing. And because we were not, the show and the fan base collectively did not allow us to ever move on from Rose, the Doctor never fully moved on from Rose. And this is how bad it really got. Guys, I am not joking when I said this. One time I was looking around on Pinterest, just scrolling around, and one picture came up of Rose Tyler in right across her face there was some writing saying, Rose Tyler was such a beautiful, incredible time of the Doctor. That's why I hate the 11th Doctor, because he has no relationship or connection to Rose. That was one of the dumbest and most horrible things I ever saw. This person wrote a post saying they hated the 11th Doctor just because he did not have he had a separate identity. He was not connected to Rose. I've never seen a dumber reason to hate a doctor in my life than that reason. And you know what makes it worse? Is a lot of people pinned it. This was a reason for why some people hated the 11th Doctor. Because his identity did not revolve around Rose. I am not lying. This picture existed on Pinterest, I swear to God. And I remember it distinctly because I remember clicking on it just so I could comment on it saying, this is the dumbest thing I ever seen. This is why another reason why I like the 11th Doctor, because he's not connected to Rose. He moved on. And luckily for every one girl who's like, yeah, this is exactly why I hate the 11th Doctor too, or every guy was like, yeah, I hate 11 because he's not connected to Rose too. There was luckily 2 girls who were like, that's exactly why we love the 11th Doctor. We got sick of the previous Doctors never getting past her. It was so annoying, and for God's sakes, if you are as old as the Doctor is, there's one thing you learn to do: move on. This is why we liked him so much. But this was a thing, and this probably still is a thing. Many people agreed with this post, thinking they were logical for hating the 11th Doctor, because his identity was not revolving around Rose Tyler. He was a whole separate thing. This shit happened. And see, you 11th Doctor haters, this is why there's a part of the fan base that will never take you seriously. We hear y'all say stuff like this all the time. Truly, 3 of my favorite Doctors are the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Doctor. I love them. But despite my love for them, if someone does not like them and they give a criticism, because some people say they don't like the 2nd Doctor because he's too cowardly sometimes. The 3rd Doctor because they didn't like his karate. I don't know why. Some didn't like how he treated Jo Grant sometimes. He was mean to her. I understood that. And the 4th Doctor, for whatever reason, they hate him for. Even though I love those Doctors, I can be, at the same time, objective and see why you do not like that Doctor. These are 3 of my favorite Doctors. So when I say this, I mean it. There is almost never, ever any criticism I've ever heard directed at the 11th Doctor that made any sense or had any logic to it whatsoever. Literally, almost all the criticism I've heard towards the 11th Doctor always is very stupid. And nothing about it shows any intelligence. Literally. And if you're giving me the whole, well, a lot of his episodes were very bad. He had some great episodes. He had some bad episodes. What Doctor doesn't? But also, with his Doctor, I said it before, I say it with any Doctor, I don't just look at the episodes the Doctor's in, I look at the Doctor in those episodes. Sometimes an episode can be very good, but the Doctor is terrible. Sometimes an episode can be very bad, but the Doctor is excellent. I look at the Doctor in the episode as well as the episode itself. If I don't like the Doctor, no matter how much the episode is good, if the Doctor is bad in it, I'm not going to like his Doctor. The episode is more so the wrapping paper, and the Doctor is the gift. If the gift is not something I like, the wrapping paper doesn't matter to me. That's just how the cookie crumbles there. So, for me, the 11th Doctor, if you're going to give that argument on his episode sucked, I look at how the Doctor is in it. And this is why, for those of you guys who are doing your best to always make it look like the 11th Doctor was the worst ever, this is why those of us who don't agree with you, why we don't agree. Because every time we hear criticism towards his Doctor, none of it makes any sense. You guys regurgitate the dumbest things about his Doctor. This, what I just gave you, is one of those dumb things. Not liking him because he has no relationship with Rose. But this also goes to show another toxic element to the Rose Tyler and Doctor relationship. The Doctor was not allowed to grow past her when she was there. When she was there, his whole identity really wrapped around Rose. When she's not there, it's still wrapped around Rose. And from beginning to the very end, from the first episode of Rose to Journey's End, of course there were 4 specials after that, but I'm talking about the whole collection, all the seasons. His whole journey is just about, what's the ending? Him turning into a human, so Rose Tyler, the girl who started out as a teenager on his TARDIS, can have an appropriate person to bang. This is what the Doctor became under Rose. This is what his whole emotional arc was. This is what we reduced the Doctor to. And we said, this is the Doctor at his absolute best. You guys want us to go back to that. If you like that era of Doctor Who, that is cool, that is awesome. But let's let it go. Let's let it just stay there. And let's let the Doctor do what the Doctor has always had the right to do, that we have the right to do. Move on. And that's another flaw that I had with the Rose and Doctor relationship. The Doctor never learned how to move on when it came to her, and he didn't, and by that not happening, the show itself, and we as a fan base, and also Russell T Davies, forgot the most important element of the show he revived. The Doctor was always an expert, not at forgetting people, he was an expert at moving on when he needed to. Under the RTD era, the way the Doctor was structured, he did not understand how to move on. If he does not understand how to move on, if he does not teach us how to move on, no one's going to move on. And this show is all about moving on and accepting change. But this show under Rose and the 10th Doctor, and the 10th Doctor, 9th, 10th Doctor, Rose in general, etc. and so forth, taught us as a fan base not to move on, and that's been hurting Doctor Who to this very day. To the point where the last line of the 10th Doctor era is, "I don't want to go," showing just how much they did not understand what made Doctor Who great, is that you have to accept the next stage of Doctor Who, so the fan base will accept the next stage of Doctor Who. By saying, "I don't want to go," it's not teaching the most vital lesson Doctor Who has ever taught us: move on. There is that. Now, what also could be the problem here when it comes to the idea of Rose Tyler returning? Well, this is the time of the companions we're going to get now. It's going to take me a while to meet them because I don't have BBC America, but I want whatever companions that this Doctor or the next Doctor, etc. and so forth, whatever Doctor they have, I want them to be allowed for it to be their time as the companions. And it's not like it is when it comes to classic companions coming back again, or even maybe Martha or Donna coming, or Bill coming back again for some reason, or Amy and Rory's from Magic coming back for some reason, where they're not going to overshadow the new companions. Something about Rose, like I said before, she overshadows, or she's used to overshadow the companions that are there at the time. She doesn't know how to work with the companions as a team effort. She just seems to always be pushing away where she's elevated over the companions that are there, and the companions that are there are not being allowed to be respected or be viewed as the companion. And that's why I say she's not the companion to come back, because these companions that we're getting now need to be given their time and should be all about them. It wasn't always that way with Rose. They don't know how to really do that with her as a companion. There is also that. But then we've got a new Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, and then for idea of Rose Tyler coming back during Jodie Whittaker's era, knowing full well, we all know the history of the Doctor and Rose, that dynamic, I just don't want to see. we as a fan base are going to make it strange very quickly, and it's nothing to do with, the idea of homosexuality being something that frightens me. No, indeed, it does not. It's just simply that I don't like that stuff much. Oh, hold on, I gotta let people in. That is Dunlap. Who's the... Yes, Dunlap, yes. The printer of the Declaration of Independence. Now you know what I do for a living a bit. Sorry, I was far away from the computer. I don't know if you heard that. That was John Dunlap, who's the printer of the Declaration of Independence. And now you all know what I do for a living, kind of. Well, I suppose y'all are going to find out somehow, one way or another. Okay, so, back to Rose Tyler and her return to the show I just don't wish to ever occur. Okay, and the last thing I have when it comes to Rose is, there was something also that happened under Rose I did not like, and it happened after Rose I did not like for a long time, where the Doctor seemed to forget his own history. Something about Rose made it seem like he was now a blank slate, and we're all starting over from the very first time. And this is something where, back to the way the Doctor treated Martha after Rose was gone. I once mentioned this to another guy who watched Doctor Who, and he said, yeah, that was really weird. He's like, the way he treated Martha, he's like, Doctor, this is not the first time you've broken in a new companion after losing another companion. You've done this many times before. Why are you acting like this is a whole new thing for you? And what I mean that Doctor had something about Rose completely warps his memory of his own self, or it's like it's deliberately like Rose Tyler's made to be almost elevated over his own history. Like, for example, remember in School Reunion? Oh God, I hate this moment so much. Where Rose Tyler was mad that the Doctor had a relationship with the companion, Sarah Jane Smith. She was mad that he had a history. Yeah. Because this over 900-year-old alien, how dare he have had a history before you? How dare he have had any identity before freaking you? Oh, you thought you were special. I'm going to quote K9 when I say this. Negative. Because... of course the Doctor has had okay. And that, my fan base, is Thomas Jefferson. Oh, that's Thomas. Yes, the writer of the Declaration of Independence. Alright, this is what I do for a living. Okay, and so, where was I? I'm sorry guys, where was I? Okay, yeah, but here we go. And he's like, well, Rose, he's like, okay, I've traveled with many people, many companions, but no one has ever been like you. No one like you. And I'm like, Doctor, you first started your journeys with your granddaughter. You clearly had a relationship with a woman enough to have a family. A granddaughter. She's more important than your granddaughter? Really? She's more of an emotional connection to you than your own grandchild? She's more important to you, or she's no one's... Vicky, you never felt anything like that with Vicky? Oh, wait a minute. Remember you were once engaged to that one human female named Kamika, and it broke your heart that you hurt her? That you had to hurt her because you could not have a relationship with this woman? It would not possibly work? You really admired Kamika. I mean, not in a sexual way, probably, but I mean, like, in a way where you felt bad you had to hurt her. You probably got married at some point. You definitely probably got married at some point. But no one's been like Rose in the history of your 900 years, over 900 years. I know the Doctor said he was 903 in Voyage of the Damned. I don't care what calendar, unless he is operating under a different calendar than he's always operated under before, there is no way he's 903. He should be at least 1,000 years old by Voyage of the Damned. At least, at the very least. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. Either way. But for me, when it comes to this character, it's like... Dude, of course he had an identity before you. Of course he had relationships with other people besides you. He's over 900 years old before the show to make it seem like all those relationships before Rose were not nearly like anything he has with her. That's just not fair to all those other companions. Again.
Thank you.
Okay, that is John Adams, the second president of the United States, and also that is Hurry, the guy who lets him into the building of Independence Hall. It's my YouTube channel. Yeah, you're now going to be on YouTube, guys.
Oh, wonderful.
Don't worry. These all the.
Do I get residuals on that?
You do not get residuals on that, Hurry. He's always thinking about residuals. Those statesmen, huh? Sorry. Okay, back to this again. Alright, yes, but that's what for me, I'm like, I would have admired it more if the doctor said, Rose, we have a special bond, but so did I with all those other companions, all those other people. I had the right to have those bonds with them because anybody does have a right to have relationships and strong bonds with more than one person throughout their life. You are special, but so is Barbara, so is Ian, so is Susan, so is Vicky, so is down to Ace. They all have a special place in my heart. But that's not what happened. All that was made very clear was nobody compared to Rose. And since the show does not know how to understand that when it comes to Rose or when it's during Rose's time, since the show does not understand that the doctor can have feelings for Rose or have a relationship with Rose, but also other people at the same time or even before and after her, when she's there, since the show does not know how to balance out the doctor's emotions and empathy and sympathies and feelings towards more than one person, she shouldn't come back because it's going to always be about Rose and not about Rose and this person, and this person, and this person, and this person. Since the doctor does not know how to be plural with her, he has to be plural without her. And again, this is no judgment on for you guys who love Rose Tyler. Not at all. You're not wrong for liking Rose. You're not. That's who you are. That is your right to do it. Just like I'm right to feel what I feel. There's no right and wrong here. Just different perspectives on the situation. That's just what it is. So guys, have you ever heard about any possible rumors of Rose Tyler returning? If you have, well, so have I. We clearly both are alike in that way. And if you feel differently than I do, you want her to come back so much, end of story, that's perfectly fine. That's cool too. That's just where we all fell. Talk to you later, guys. To see you again very soon. Peace out.